Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistis, and you are watching The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, a cooking show where I make recipes inspired by various tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, and, as in today's recipe, Pathfinder. Yes, it's good to be back this week. I know I'm streaming a night early, but considering that tomorrow is the last day of the month and I've got various recipe cards to finish up, including this one, yeah, that's right, I can't really release it until I take a photo of it. I can't really take a photo of it until I cook it. You know how it is. Tonight we are making a recipe from Pathfinder's Sandpoint, City of Sandpoint, which is from Sandpoint Light of the Lost Coasts supplement from the first edition of Pathfinder, though I think Pathfinder is working on updating their stuff to 2nd edition, but that's a whole nother story. This recipe for cheese blossoms comes from the Rusty Dragon, or Rusty Dragon Tavern, Rusty Dragon Inn. It really depends on how your DM likes to say it. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and read a description of this tavern, woohoo, so you know a little bit about the place if you just so happen want to include something like this in your game. This large structure in Sandpoint's oldest inn, notable for the impressive and quite rusty iron statue of a bronze dragon that looms on the building's roof, doubling as both an iconic decoration and lightning rod. The Rusty Dragon features a full-service tavern where drinks like raspberry mead and ale, along with the owner's own specialties of curried salmon and cheese-curd stuffed artichoke hearts, are quite popular. This tavern is an excellent place to meet visitors from out of town, as its proximity to the southern bridge into town makes the welcoming first stop. So, this particular dish, as you gathered from, well, the description I just gave you, cheese blossoms are spicy cheese curd-filled artichokes. I wouldn't say the full-size artichokes because, one, those are huge, and then you're just kind of picking away at an artichoke. No, what I am talking about is artichoke hearts. The stuff that you can get canned and not have to steam artichokes for, which is great, because regular artichokes are expensive, yo. So, especially if you're going to be steaming this huge vegetable, spending a lot of money on weight, when you're going to be throwing away most of it anyway. Go for the canned. So, we are going to be stuffing artichoke hearts with a combination of mozzarella and cheddar cheese with a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of pimentos, because being in the South as I am, pimento cheese is where it's at, and a little bit of cayenne, garlic, and curry powder. Is the curry powder necessary? It's up to you, but I figured since this particular inn mentions curried salmon as being a specialty. That's the wrong way to pronounce specialty, but you know what, whatever. A specialty of the tavern, I figured, it would make sense if some of that curry just happened to kind of slip into some of the other dishes. I mean, come on, we're talking about medieval fantasy. It's not like we're really dealing with cross-contamination procedures all that much, and I just scratched my nose. Welcome to my kitchen. So, I'm going to take another sip of Lambrusco, for that is this sweet, fizzy wine I am drinking right now, which my friend Taylor Darnell from That Darn Drink introduced me to on my last visit up to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He and his wife, Brianna Darnell, you may also know from The Lady Nerd, have started their own, I want to say, kind of a drink cocktail blog. They just started it. They are working, he is a fantastic bartender in this fine dining Italian restaurant, Gabriella's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He also makes fantastic cocktails of his own choosing, not just of, well, the restaurants. His wife, Brianna, then works on making a non-alcoholic mocktail version of said drink. So, if you are on Facebook, go ahead and look up on the search bar, That Darn Drink, and that should bring up their page. So do follow, because they are fantastic folks. Anywho, cheese stuffed artichokes. We were doing that. After we stuff these artichoke hearts, we are going to be dipping them in some melted butter and rolling them in a mixture of Italian breadcrumbs and rolled oats. Italian breadcrumbs, you're probably thinking, oh, I get that. However, rolled oats, Well, the reason I have it is twofold. One, it adds an interesting texture and flavor to our stuffed cheesy artichoke bites. And two, I thought that I had more Italian breadcrumbs in my pantry than I actually did. So, we're going to improvise and make something just a wee bit more interesting. And considering that the owner of the Rusty Dragon from Pathfinder, her name is Miko Kaijitsu, is known for her strange kitchen experiments. So, I figure it might be something she does if she happens to run out of breadcrumbs, like I just kind of got close to doing. Anywho, we should probably get started, right? So, yes, more members go. You want to start out with 3 of these. These are 14-ounce cans of whole artichoke hearts. I'm going to take those cans with their handy-dandy pull tab that totally do not attract all the cats to your kitchen and make them meow at you because they think it is second breakfast time. And you drain those suckers. Try to get all the liquid out of there. We're just going to do that with the other 2 cans. Now, these usually run for about, I want to say $2 to $3.50 a can at your local grocery store. Depending on your grocery store and location, of course. I happen to get these at Publix. And if you can, try to get the ones that aren't packed in brine. They usually aren't. Well, not brine, I would say. Don't get them packed in olive oil because then you're going to be kind of slipping and sliding all over the place. Can. Right. So, because yes, you totally got on my stream tonight to watch me open canned goods. You know you did. Don't lie to yourself. Okay. Drained. So, I'm going to make use of 2 different bowls. The first one, I'm going to be using for my filling. The second one, I'm going to be putting these artichoke hearts after I've drained them. So, there we go. Just so I have them ready to go once I've drained them. So, thing is, you'll notice how they have this little end right here. We're going to be slicing off this end so they stand upright in our baking dish. Baking dish, which you are going to need a 9x13 baking dish. That is not the right shelf. Here's the right shelf. A 9x13, which is one of these little fancy casserole, well, I wouldn't really call it fancy, but one of these casserole type dishes here. So, artichoke hearts. Knife. Can, so you can get a better look and know what to go for. And no, you don't have to spend a lot of money on the expensive artichokes. I will not judge you. But as you can see, just gotta slice a little sliver on there so it still stays whole, but stands upright, like so. So, I'm just going to, I'm not going to discard those yet because I might make a little snack with them as we are waiting for them to bake. So, it'll take about 30 minutes to bake these once we have them going, but I figure it might be a good time to do a little bit of a kitchen experiment, especially since it is Independence Day weekend coming up. So there's been a recipe I've been wanting to do since I've read the Percy Jackson series, and that is for strawberry smoked brisket. However, since it is based off of Greek mythology, or in my case, my religion, I kind of want the ingredients to reflect all 12 of the Olympians, if not possibly all 13. So, we're going to be seeing what I have to work with while we wait for these things to bake, and see if I can kind of create a barbecue sauce. Part of it, too, is that we just came back from visiting my dad this weekend. The belated Father's Day thing. And apparently my parents have been working hard making tons and tons of strawberry preserves, like you do. So I figure, since I've got like 6 jars of strawberry jam right now, I figure it would be a good chance a good time to, you know, play with it a little bit. See what we can make for this. Alright, what am I thinking about? The Tetris theme is playing right now, but it's not actually the Tetris theme. It's a song called Karabushka, which is a folk song. And I know this because it was one of the songs that we would play at Front Gate when I was on Cast the Renaissance Festival. Okay, there we go. Flat. That one's falling apart on me. I don't think we're going to be able... Nope, we're not going to be able to stuff that one. Well, it's going to go into the can for kitchen experiments. Oh my god, seriously? That's 2 down. Holy crap. That makes me sad. Okay. Well, hopefully I can use these other ones. They are pretty fragile. Nope. Nope, that one fell apart on me too. Dang it. I might have an entire can of artichoke hearts I can't use for this. That would suck. Alright. Wow. This whole freaking can. All torn. Really pissed me off. Okay. Well, this, we are just going to chop that up and make something else out of it for a snack later on. So, either for a snack or maybe a pasta sauce for dinners later this week. Yeah. We'll just hold on to that. For now. Wipe that down. And now it is time to put together our filling. So, more wine. Actually, I'm gonna pour a little bit more. Stuff tastes like candy, and that's why it's dangerous. Yes. Lambrusco. I don't think that's how it's pronounced, but you know what? Who cares? It's tasty. I mean, I try to be sensitive to how things are pronounced. I mean, well, someone tells me when we're going to Mexico that I need to check out Isla de Mujeres. And I'm just going, it's Isla de Mujeres. No, stop being a gringo. Right, so, what would cheese-filled artichoke hearts be without the cheese? Well, they'd just be artichoke hearts, wouldn't they? So now I'm just about to pull a mountain of dairy. Oh, there's more sour cream than I thought. Is that sour cream still good, or toss it? Are you still good, Mr. Sour Cream? Yeah. It smells fine, just need to drain off the whey a little bit. Yay, I've got fresh sour cream. I don't have to open that. Yay! Alright, so we've got 8-ounce blocks of mozzarella, well, low moisture mozzarella. This is the stuff that you usually get on pizzas. And extra sharp cheddar. The cheddar is to give kind of that pimento cheese flavor, a little bit of extra saltiness and sharpness, while the mozzarella is to have a little bit more kind of cheese curd texture. Now granted, if you can find cheese curds, use cheese curds. However, I live in Georgia, and not all grocery stores carry cheese curds. So we're going to be doing a mix of these two, while you would instead be using, I want to say 8 to 12 ounces of cheese curds. It really depends on the size of package you get, and also how stuffed do you want these things to be. We're going to start out with 6 ounces each, just to see if it will fill it up, which, you know, I think we might be okay with just 4, but, you know, we'll see. I like stuffed cheesy. What can I say? Let's use a crappy steak knife to get these open, as I've got the burning sun coming through my window, so we'll just block it off with that mixing bowl right there. Yeah, that is the problem with streaming at this time during the summer. Alright, so that's about... So really we'd want about 3/4 of this, so if we were gonna go like... Make things easy. Cut in half. Just gonna make sure, yeah, that's about right half. Cut in half again. And there you go, 6 ounces. And we're just gonna do the same with our mozzarella. Ooh. Go. And you notice I have slightly better sound, as well as no headband this week. That is because I finally got myself a decent microphone that is rechargeable, as opposed to my first microphone that we streamed with. Alright, so once again, cut in half. There we go. Then cut in half again. Bam. Jesus. Alright, so now I'm gonna, to be able to fill these, I was gonna do about a ½ inch dice, but I think I'm actually doing a 1/4 inch dice. So we're probably gonna go, see, like right there? And based off of that, just gonna eyeball, make it into planks. Alright, then take your planks and you make batons. So it looks like it's roughly about 3/4 of an inch wide, so we're just going to cut this into thirds, like so. The advantage also of not using the entire block of cheese is I can snack on my own, because I forgot to heat up dinner before the stream. So, more cheese for me. Yay! Yay. Right. You'll notice we're not really doing any stove stuff tonight, because most of this is knife work, admittedly. Though, should probably go ahead and preheat my oven now. So, we are going to preheat our oven to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And check the oven to see if there's anything in there already. Nope. Okay, we're good. Jeez. Alrighty. I'm probably making too much filling, but oh no, I'll just melt the rest on some toast or something. And adjust the recipe as needed. There we go. All right. Basically are trying to do is make this the approximate thickness of most cheese curds. Realizing probably too much cheese. So we'll see how it dials up and it works out, but you may actually need to dial it back to about 4 ounces each of cheese. But of course, you might actually have all of your artichokes intact. Well, I apparently lost an entire can. So we shall see. We've got batons. So, just take a couple of batons, line them up, like so. And chop little cubes, like so. Let's do it again. Here you were thinking it was probably going to take forever to chop all these tiny little cubes. Nope. This makes it fast. There we go. Chop. Actually, what we might do, if we have filling left over, is we might use it as a sauce base for some mac and cheese or something with the leftover artichokes. Especially since I've got plenty of dark roux left over from this fish recipe that I made, last night. It's based off the book Gunpowder and Cinnamon, which is about a chef who gets kidnapped by pirates. It's going to be on my Patreon tomorrow. By the time you actually see this video on YouTube, it'll probably already be out. That is the last of the cheese curds. And yeah, I'm already seeing this is way too much. So, like I said, not to worry. We'll just that all together. Probably end up only using about half of this. So, we will work accordingly as I snack on more cheese. So, alright. So, to this, you will want to add about, how much do I have? A tablespoon of sour cream. And how many tablespoons of pimentos? Here, 2 tablespoons of diced pimentos. Come on. There we go. Big old tablespoon of sour cream. Like I said, it looks like we've got a double batch here, so we'll add double if we need to. So, and that'll be my oven, reaching the proper temp. So you're going to need about a half teaspoon of garlic powder, a half teaspoon of curry powder, and a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna use a spoon to stir all that. Was that all of it? Yeah, that was. So I may have to double up. On the sour cream at the very least. Give that a quick taste. Well, the spice is good. All right, so that's our filling. Now we have our artichoke hearts. So next, you're just gonna gently depress the center of the artichoke like so. Create kind of a bowl like that. Kind of fans out a little bit. And just do that as gently as possible. Fan out the sides a little bit to create walls of your bowl. There we go. Oh, what the hell. These are just falling apart on me, aren't they? And hopefully the cheese will manage to keep everything together. That's the hope anyway. We shall see though. They're turning out to be a lot more delicate than I was anticipating. Let's see if these will actually cooperate with me. We shall see. Go. All right, so just gonna work on filling these guys with cheese. Get up, dang it. Stay. Are. Admittedly, that one's not the most structurally sound. Okay. Right, so I'm just gonna set this aside for now. Yeah. It falls apart on me. Good Lord. Stay. Alright, so I'm just gonna melt about a half a cup of butter. So you want about a full stick of melted butter. Probably just get away with about half of one, but we'll see. And grab a bowl. Which we are going to be putting about half a cup of Italian breadcrumbs, as well as half a cup of rolled oats. So. going to start out with about half a cup of melted butter. Sorry, a quarter cup of melted butter, so about half a stick. And I just need to microwave that in about 7 to 10 second increments on high until it is fully melted. And, right, rolled oats and breadcrumbs. Let's see. It's about a quarter of a cup. Actually, I had exactly a half a cup left in there. So, just gonna give that a stir. And check on our butter. Yeah, 7 seconds obviously didn't do it. The thing is, the water particles in butter speed up a lot faster than the fat particles do, so they have a tendency to, well, explode. So we don't really want that happening in our microwave. I know, from experience. All right, 10 more seconds. In the meantime, as I am waiting for butter to melt, I'm just gonna go ahead and put away some of these things, like garlic powder. Don't need that anymore. Goodness. Cayenne pepper. Don't need that anymore. Yeah. Butter not melted yet. 10 more seconds. It's got some time. Cans can go in the recycling. And drink. All right. These artichokes back where it's a bit drier in my pan so I can dry out some of this excess liquid. That butter still needs to melt more. Melt, man, with the power to melt. Oh, okay. That should do it. Yep, that's pretty darn melted. So, melted butter, oats and breadcrumb mix. Stick that in a shallower bowl, and I'm realizing that I could probably use more butter. So we'll do about half of them and see if we need. All right, so melted butter, dipping, and rolling around in our breadcrumb mix. Stick that upright. This also helps keep that cheese from melting all over the place. So, there we go. cool. Dip that in there. Nestle that in. And cover it up. There we go. Okay. Stay. All right, it seems to be working. Haha. Yes, success. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Probably could have fit all of these in a square baking sheet actually, but oh well, we are working with what we got. Now what we got is only about 2/3 of the can, actually, well, 2/3 of the artichokes actually being usable. Four more left. There we go. Lean that up against the wall. Hope it stays upright. There we go. And one more. Just gonna scatter the rest of that. Coat where it may have not gotten earlier. Okay. right. So, that is all assembled. My oven is already preheated. So, I am going to move this to the oven. And set a timer for about 20 minutes to start. Then check on it then. Ideally, you want about half an hour, but I don't think we're really going to need that. So, in the meantime, since I've been snacking on cheese this entire time, I imagine it's probably time to make some actual dinner. So, especially since I have, one, all of this cheese left, and two, all of these artichokes that were, well, way too fragile to actually stuff. That's why we have so much filling left over. So, that said, hi Ginger. How are you, my baby princess? Would you like to say hi to my followers, little girl? So, my cat, Ginger, is on the floor, seeing as if I dropped anything. No, I didn't, baby. Okay. She is unhappy that I have not dropped anything for her. She's gonna go sulk now. Okay. So, I've got artichokes. I've got sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried maters. Bam. Let's see. What also was good? I'm thinking I've got some shallots left over from let's see, was it last week's recipe? So let's make kind of a cheesy pasta sauce, and oh goodness, maybe we should also make up some pasta to go along with it and keep it separate. That way, I've got plenty of cheesy sauce to get me through the rest of this week. Alrighty, that is the plan, and I might be sticking to it. No promises. So, let's grab a bag to put all of our shallot peel in. So, let's go ahead and cut off the end like so. Slice that in half. And just peel that away. Like so. I don't have any milk, but I do have plenty of sour cream. So that can be the base of our bechamel sauce, and I've got plenty of dark roux left over from yesterday's recipe. So we're gonna make a fancy mac and cheese. So, with that said, So I have a ton of beef broth too. Ooh, this is gonna be tasty, I think. Alright, so with that in mind, I should probably, let's get a saucepan out. Do I have a clean one? Let's see. We'll use you for pasta. What am I talking about? I just did the dishes. Of course, I've got two clean saucepans. Let's get it out here. Yeah. That wipe down. All right. And a saucepan for pasta. And switch to the prep cam. Oh, sorry, the stove cam. What am I doing? What? Brain. is not working. Alright, back to the prep can for now. I am just going to do a rough chop on these shallots. Just add that to my bowl of artichokes. Alright, I should actually chop up the artichokes. Well, I will once I finish chopping up these shallots. Go. There's one. You notice I'm doing kind of a radial cut, approximately about 1/4 of an inch thick, like so, and then chopping across for a quick small dice. Grab some of these larger artichokes and just kind of give them a quick chop. No waste not, want not. Is most of it. And I'm just going to chop up a handful of sun-dried tomatoes. There we go. Add a little bit more acidity to our pasta sauce. Cool. Let's get that into our bowl. And I need to go ahead and prep my, preheat my saucepan for about 2 or 3 minutes over about medium heat. That way I have a hot pan to work with. Let's check on our cheese blossoms. So far, so good. Doesn't seem to be melting on me yet. That's good. Alrighty. And got our vegetable mix there. Well as our cheese mix here. I'm going to have a ton of cheese sauce. That is kind of why I am making this separately. So I can make tonight's dinner, but then I can also make a fresh batch of pasta. That's a really good way of doing it. When you make pasta sauce, make a big batch, put the pasta sauce in one container, That way you can quickly make up a batch of pasta, especially for a single person without making much mess, in roughly about 10 to 12 minutes. I've done this often last year when I was mostly working from home, where I would make a giant pot of kind of lentil spaghetti sauce, and then, just make up some ziti or spaghetti last minute for lunch. That way I got as much time for myself as possible during my lunch break, but also it kept me from messing up my kitchen too much when I just wanted to eat lunch and not have to pay money for it. So, let's go ahead and go to our stove cam. Got a minute and a half, so it's probably okay to go ahead and add our oil to heat that up some. Oh yeah, that is looking good so far, but you know it's hot enough when it starts shimmering, which it's not really quite doing yet, but we'll get there. Alright, I'm just gonna grab myself a slotted spoon. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a pot of water boiling for our pasta. Oh boy. All right. And get that going. Okay, so it looks like our olive oil is starting to shimmer on us a bit. I can also smell it some. So with that, I'm going to do something rather stupid and put all this wet ingredients directly into the oil like so. Alright. And I'm mostly just doing to get this to cook off as much of the moisture as possible, especially in these artichokes, as well as get the fragrance going on those shallots. To kind of aid this, I'm going to be adding a bit of kosher salt. Big old fat pinch there. And let that do its thing. In the meantime, as I wait for my pasta water to heat up, I have got some sea salt from Italy that my parents brought back for me. And since I am in a silly mood, I'm going to be adding that. Yeah. Fair bit of that. There we go. To my pasta water. Does it seem like a lot? It's pasta water. So no, that's not a lot. That is probably as much as I need, but the thing is, I'm cooking the pasta in this. I'm not cooking my entire sauce in this, so I can afford to go a little bit over. So, as far as the brothy portion of my bechamel, I know you would normally use milk. Me, however, I have got quite a bit of bone broth left over. Sorry, beef broth left over from previous recipes. And I made a giant batch of dark roux, way more than I needed for last night's recipe. So we're going to be thickening our bechamel with a bit of that. So it's not going to look it'll still be damn tasty. Especially with a bit of that spiciness and garlic. Oh, it's going to be good. All right, let's kind of stir dissolve our pasta water a bit. And since, let's see, I think I've got some corkscrew pasta in here. It'd be awesome if I did. I might only have elbow pasta or orzo or, but it was cool, but I don't have enough of it. So I'm just going to be running down to my pantry while I continue to talk. I shouldn't lose sound as I grab some corkscrew pasta for tonight's mac and cheese. So, corkscrew pasta, where are you? Aha, cavatappi. Yes. This stuff makes the best mac and cheese. This stuff. right here. Best mac and cheese. All right. So, just continuing, do a wee bit more browning. And need to measure the amount of pasta I'm going to need. For 2 people, I normally do about 1.5 cups of pasta. So I want to say the standard rule for a single person is about 3/4 cup. So, double that. And you got about a 1.5 cups. Yeah. I'll add another handful. There we go. All right. And I'm just gonna pour what I have left, or at least most of it. Yeah, pour what I have left of our beef broth here. And get that start simmering. And also keep an eye on what I have left of this container of sour cream, so that should make it pretty nice and creamy. And big old pinch of kosher salt. There we go. And get that going. As I clean up some of this and try not to snack on all the cheese. What am I kidding? Of course I'm going to snack on all the cheese. I think I am. Heathen. This waste. Nope, cheese. Okay. Where was... Oh. Okay, this is the, yes, that is the rolled oats container. This is the sun-dried tomato container. Okay, maybe I did add too much sea salt to that. It'll be fine though. A little crazy. Not too crazy, but just a little. Cheese. And more cheese. Here's a drinking game. Take a drink every time I start sampling my own ingredients. Thanks for the cheer strike. Ooh. Okay. Noms. Noms. So yeah, I'm not sure who caught the Good Society game the other night, but it was fantastic. Got to play with some excellent streamers, such as Pronouns in My Bio, and Clearly Departed, and Skippy Type. All fantastic folks. And what other fun stuff happened? Other fun stuff happened. Let's see. Oh, yes, I got to hang out with my family this weekend. And it's kind of a belated Father's Day thing, but I'm super glad that we did, because turns out my brother's girlfriend of so many years is going to be my sister-in-law soon, probably within the next month. So so excited about that. I mean, considering she's been part of the family for so long anyway, yeah, it's pretty darn fantastic. Okay. This is not a sophisticated sauce at all, but it shall be delicious. Trust me, I've seen it in stories. I think I could use... Oh, that is the timer on the cheese blossom. I think they could probably go for another 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, let me double check on that. I'm gonna have to actually pull them out of the oven to see. Yeah, they can definitely bake a wee bit longer. So let's go for another 10 minutes and see what happens. Yeah. Alright, that is boiling away. Can't really say the same about my pasta water yet, but it's coming. Alrighty. So, I'm just gonna let that stew a bit longer, and come to think of it, I'm also gonna add a touch of cream sherry, because I've got quite a bit of it, and that'll add a nice bit of tanginess to it, I think. Nice bit of acidity. So, just gonna let that reduce. A derp-a-dur. A derp-a-derp-a-dur. Okay. What was I doing? Yes, I was gonna pour myself more wine. But, yeah. Let's see what I've got coming up. 4th of July weekend this weekend, so I'm hoping to do my recipe idea for strawberry smoked brisket inspired by the Percy Jackson Olympian series, Camp Nowhere and all that. But I need to do a little bit more research on that because my parents gave me 4 jars of homemade strawberry preserves, and I think that's just begging to be made into a barbecue sauce. Begging. So, we will see how that goes. Okay, it looks like we have gotten to a boil with our pasta water. So, it looks like that's supposed to cook for how long? Okay. It tells me nothing. Oh, 8, 9, or 10 minutes. Let's go with about 8 minutes. So, let's add the pasta. And give that a stir. And set a timer for about 8 minutes to start us out with. And okay, that is definitely reducing nicely. But let that reduce a bit longer before I start adding some roux. Cheese. All right. Wine. Oh, that's good. Like I said, Briscoe kind of tastes like candy, if candy were wine. Or wine were candy. Or something. It's tasty. What was I doing? Ah, yes. A little bit of a clean going. Luckily, tonight's recipe doesn't take up too much, doesn't make too much mess, which is really good, you know, if you want to make an appetizer type thing for a party and then not have too much of a mess afterwards. All right. Derp-a-derp-a-derp-a-derp. Is over here. It's behind me. Alright, so it's about the halfway mark to our, what's it called? Yeah, just got some into my wine. Yay. Note to self, use a shorter jar next time for your roux. About, say about 2 tablespoons worth. Or I think it's more teaspoons, so we're trying to get kind of a tablespoon's worth into there. And partially, oh, that's excellent. Part of this is to thicken it up, but the other part is, since I'm using a non-dairy base and I've got acidic elements in there, I want to add a roux to it to add a little bit of starch, which is going to coat the dairy molecules and casein proteins as it's mixed in, and resulting in a nice creamy dairy sauce as opposed to clumps and curdled dairy that you would normally get if you just add like heavy cream or sour cream or whatever to an acidic substance such as, well, wine. So, as you can see, it's already thickening up nicely for me here. Cool. Oh wait, no, I want to keep that out. I want to keep that out because I'm about to add all that's left of this thing of sour cream to, one, make it a little bit more milky, and also use what's left of this sour cream container in my fridge, because I can't really think if I'm going to use sour cream again soon. And I'm going to reduce the heat down to a medium-low. Nice and creamy, as you can see. Got kind of a stroganoff sort of look to it, and probably a flavor, stroganoff type flavor as well. This is when I start adding my cheese. So, just gonna add a big old thing of that. And just gonna keep stirring that until all of it melts. Does it look like cheese from mac and cheese sauce? Okay, maybe it doesn't. However, it is cheesy. It is cheesy, yo. Very cheesy. I mean, if I were using straight up milk instead of a mixture of beef broth and sour cream, it would look incredibly cheesy right now. However, we are not doing that. So, you can tell that it's mostly melted. Go ahead and add some more cheese. We're just going to continue to stir that. As it melts. got a minute and a half left on our macaroni, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a cup full of pasta water. Like so. This will help us thin out our sauce a little bit if it needs to be. I'm just gonna pipe the heat up a little bit more on that. And the rest of this cheese. There we go. Sounds like our cheese blossoms are done baking, so I'm just going to grab a trivet or 2 or 5. Clear. Switch to our prep area. And check on it. Now I think it could stand to be a bit more browned. We're gonna go another 5 minutes and see how it does. In the meantime, it looks like my pasta is done being cooked. So with that, switch to our stove can, grab my pot of pasta, drain that out, put that down to a low temp, and see, it looks like our, sauce could probably use a little bit more roux. Turn off the heat on that real quick. Just a little bit more roux to make up for some of that excess fat that's still wandering around. So, just gonna grab me a spoon. A long spoon this time. Another tablespoon of roux in there. That in. Just gotta keep stirring. Keep in mind that this is also a mixture of artichokes, tomatoes, and God, what else did I put in this? I already forgot. But, so, there we go. Just gonna ladle in some sauce. Okay, and stir that around. Yeah. Notice it thickens as I stir. pasta water. Probably should have used more roux. Oh well. I'm sure that'll still be delicious. I will say some of the ugliest things are some of the most delicious things ever. So, that is dinner. And that is a very, very messy stovetop. So, oh boy. It sounds like we are about 15 seconds left on our bake. How are we looking? Looking pretty awesome. However, I want to bake them just a little bit longer. So I kind of want to brown them a little bit. Yeah, shut up, oven. I'll go for another 5. Alrighty. So, I guess I could broil them. The only trouble is that they're currently in a Pyrex dish, and I kind of don't want that to break on me. Which sometimes it tends to. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll add some. Got an idea. They're baked through. I just want them a little bit more caramelized, a little more browned. The trouble is Pyrex tends to not really handle that high of a temperature all that well. So, I'm just gonna switch it to a low broil, get that going. In the meantime, I'm going to spray the inside of my cake pan right here, because I know it can handle the broiler, and I'm gonna transfer these guys with a pair of tongs so I don't burn my fingers off to a cake tin. Trouble is I really have to be careful how long I broil these because the cheddar could also melt out completely on me. So we won't put it directly under, but we'll keep an eye, like maybe not go more than about 2 minutes. A little bit of caramelization, but not enough for my tastes. So, there we go. All right, with that, let's move this back to the oven. Or low broil for about, we'll do a minute and then check it. So with that said, I'm not saying that you should transfer to a cake pan when you bake these things. I would actually maybe start with a cake pan, because as we saw, this 9x13 baking pan was way too large, and we still had plenty of room in that baking pan. So if we hadn't lost like half of the, what's it called? Brain. Half of the artichokes already, well, about a third of the artichokes already, it still would have fit in there. So, since this is dinner tonight, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this served up. Now the cheese is all thickened up. Because, of course, it has. That will be the cheese blossoms. Let's hope that this didn't melt out completely on us. That's probably 1 more minute. Actually, I think this mac and cheese took up more mess than this dish did. Crazy that. Alright. Just gonna add what's left of this pasta water directly to our cheese sauce to thin it out a little bit for future applications. There we go. That away, that away. Stay. Okay. Our stove can and hope that it didn't melt out entirely on us. Oh, that looks awesome. Yes. Well, 1 more minute. 1 more minute can't hurt it. Shut up, oven. I am aware your timer is done. Okay. Whew. Meantime, are you cool enough to handle? No, you're not. Whew. All right. Hello, my love. Would you like dinner? No, it's not over yet. I just happened to make dinner in the middle of it, too, because I was waiting for things to broil and bake. Yes, have some mac and cheese. Kind of hybrid thing with all the leftover cheese I had from this recipe. That's good. A wee bit salty, but still good. Almost kind of a stroganoff cheese. It was an experiment. Alrighty. Moment of truth. And after that, alrighty. Yes. And these, my friends, are cheese blossoms. Make sure to let them cool for about 10 minutes before you try biting into them, because you're kind of dealing with sort of a dairy-flavored napalm. So yes, that is our stream with about 30 minutes to go, but that's fine. It was a short stream tonight, and I managed to make these things, a cheese-stuffed artichoke hearts, as well as kind of a weird mac and cheese brothy hybrid thing. I'll take it. Anywho, oh, thank you, Strike. Yes, I hope they photograph well, because there's a yellow light on that, and I kind of had to broil it for a bit to make sure I got that browning and caramelization that I really wanted. But I guess that's kind of where the cheddar comes into it, because at some points the cheddar just melts out flat on you, but sometimes it kind of crunches up and gets crispy like that. So we'll see. I think maybe the mixing it with the mozzarella probably kept it from melting out entirely. Anywho, whew, it is warm in my kitchen and I need to cool down. So I would like to thank you for joining me for Munchies and Minis tonight. We will not be streaming next week because I will be having the poll out on my Patreon for which recipes that you want to see, or rather my Patreon subscribers want to see, on this upcoming month, and by upcoming month I mean 2 days from now, month of Munchies and Minis. So if you are on Patreon, keep an eye out for that poll. It will be coming out this upcoming week, or maybe this weekend. It depends on how long it takes for me to put down all the ideas. Anywho, maybe I'll stream tomorrow while doing graphic design, we'll see. Either that, or I will be getting all of this, and I mean all of this, or at least a good most of it chopped off, because it's time. It's 90-some degrees. It's time. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this week. My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you've been watching the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. And as always, stay safe, stay sane, and stay you. Have a great night.